That looks more like a journal.
That goes for sure under the pillow, right?
Oh, that's such a good idea. Like right there. No?
Lift the pillow up.
Oh!
How you going? And welcome to our show, A Button. Today starring Tess, Connor, and Which Means video game Unpacking. This is episode 1 of our Unpacking series, where in the game we unpack our sentimental stuff and in the commentary we explore ideas of home and the anxieties around it. So get snug, brew a bevy, and here we go.
Good morning, Trunkers. I am here today with my beautiful baby girl, boyfriend, Connor, and my name is Tess. And today we are playing Unpacking and talking about... some little memory books, photo books.
Is that what you reckon they are?
Okay.
Did you have photo books at home? Is that something?
Yeah, we have a few actually, and it's lovely to have printed photos, which is very sweet.
Oh, it only fits terribly. Sorry, Jess.
I'll be Tez.
Here, I'll take a letter.
Be Conno. Oh, that's kind of cute. Actually, yeah, that's just like the babies.
We're Connor and Tez.
Can't say our own names yet.
I love the ding.
1990.
Oh, that's the year I was born. This is my bedroom.
Oh my goodness. That is a big bed for a little man. Connor, what does home mean to you?
I think I don't know the answer.
It's a big question.
I feel like this game, and for maybe a lot of people, home's tricky because you've maybe had to move so much, and maybe you haven't, or at least in my case, haven't been able to stay in a place for too long. It's all gonna vanish anyways, and it'll all be just at the end of the day, you in a backpack and your ability to make money. So I don't know if that's super healthy.
Necessarily.
I don't love it, and it's quite limiting.
It's certainly a survival skill, and a learnt one at that. So it's not just something that we innately have. I think we all naturally have a desire to want to stay in one spot and make it our little home and put down our makeup brushes, I think that is.
Yeah, what do you think that is? Where would you place that?
I would put that on the desk under the bed.
Because I froth.
You can sit down and do a makeup.
Absolutely froth this kind of like setup of like the bed up so the bed's not blocking half. Like imagine if that bed was elevated and that was all office space.
Should we get a bunk bed?
Like hopefully we can build one day. Because yeah, I love that. Like that's just so much space.
Yeah, I'd love a little nook under the bed where you can like pull the curtain back and there's fairy lights and a bean bag and a little TV.
Is this where you're doing your coloring in?
Yes.
Yeah.
All my coloring in and my calligraphy.
Oh, and there's a ruler for my
schoolwork.
My probably more like my cutting photos and things like that. I wonder what's in that book though. That looks more like a journal.
That goes for sure under the pillow, right?
Oh, that's such a good idea. Like right there. No?
Lift the pillow up.
Oh! Tess! Tess!
This is more... Going back to your experience with home, we have two very different experiences. You've had to move places a lot. I've been fortunate enough where... Well, I've made a big move. So I was born in England, live in New Zealand. Big move, but it happened so young and it was a stable decision. It wasn't out of anything else but a desire for a better life, which I was actually reading an article before. So it's by Karthika 2018, writes that immigrants experience a larger feeling of disjointedness in their self-identity because they obviously have to acclimatize to their new land, but they come from a place that is so culturally different, perhaps religiously so as well. So, quote, immigrants shift to foreign lands for greater education and economic needs, with the hope of bringing change in their lifestyle. The immigrants tend to replicate the manners of the settled land. This in turn makes their identity hybrid and ambivalent, end quote. And that has been not my experience because I am a white person going from one Western country to another. So I'm very fortunate. Whereas people traveling from Asia to Australia, New Zealand, or similar cases, they'll have a huge time acclimatizing, and especially second generation children will face those same issues replicated. So they'll be torn between two worlds of their parents' place where they've come from and then their new culture where they've only really known. Yeah, home is all about stability, I think. It's not necessarily a family.
I think I can agree with that. In wanting that and seeing little bits of it, of like a nice home, it's kind of like not where you live, it's definitely how you live.
Mm-hmm.
And not that they're the right and wrong people to live with, but certainly.
We talked about what home means, immigrating to new places, and wanting somewhere nice to call home. Some things I think you might like as well are this study on printed photographs and how they help you feel whole, insights to how mental health links with home, and my personal fave, a short video experiment on gratitude. Consider a question. What does home mean to you? And let's return.
It's definitely how you live.
Mm-hmm.
And not that they're the right and wrong people to live with, but certainly, you know, especially in share house situations, like that can be, or familial situations, you know, it can jive and it cannot jive. And these ebbs and flows of ways you can feel safe. So like one example that I think might ring true for a great deal of people is, especially myself, is certain people in the household who can have a disrespect for what might be your, let's say, your bedroom, like this, you know, these four walls, and have that habit of just barging in, or being in rooms like this, but yet still never feeling like you can express certain parts of yourself. Or you can open drawers. So for example, being a musical child, there's this absolutely insane but common anxiety of wanting to be able to just play music and express yourself and practice and sound bad, but not be heard by others. Mm-hmm. And a lot of houses with thin walls, or if you're sharing, it's very rare that you get that moment. So you don't practice.
Fear of criticism, do you think? Or just...
Kids aren't practicing their full potential. If their home environment is one that lets them feel 100% safe to just put all of your energy into what you're practicing, your hobby or your passion or your pursuit, even if it's academic, because for whatever reason, 40% of your brain is just anxious about what the other person is hearing and thinking of what they're hearing in the background. Even if, like, you know, your piano or your voice is muffled and barely heard, like, for a big part of your brain is just feeling terribly afraid of something. And it's probably criticism. But even if you try and logic it out, it seems some people can just go full send and maybe just deal with it. But it's that's just one way in which you can have your own space. Like I certainly didn't have time again. It's been a big frustration moving a lot, living with lots of different people. And yet, even if you pay $300 to rent an awesome room like this a week, or you've escaped a worse place, hilariously in a way, you're still just as anxious as if you were kind of out on the street in public, because for whatever reason, in many ways, you feel like you're in public. You feel like there's constantly ears on the walls, or there's certain things you couldn't do without it being commented on, or still definitely affects me. Like there might be certain passions or hobbies or forms of escapism that you might be dreaming of doing in your heart of hearts. You know, maybe you've always wanted to sing. Maybe
belting out a tune, but I'd never do that.
How often do you do it?
Never. Even
in the flat that you pay rent for. And even when someone else in your home might do that.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't judge them for it. You might roll your eyes and go, oh.
Yeah, exactly.
But you deal with it out of the goodness of your heart. Yet, for whatever reason, some of us are at that space where we can just not care, and some of us never get out of it, and some of us are stuck right now in it.
It's so desperately sad that for so many young people, and it's a habit I suppose most never grow out of, but the home isn't a safe space to make mistakes. It's a place of judgment or shame.
That's a brilliant way to put everything that I've said. I couldn't have expressed that better. I feel like I've been waffling. I feel like you've just
That's okay.
won.
This is your home.
Like-
You're allowed to make mistakes.
Like putting this little bus here. Perfect.
I love it. Amazing work. The home shouldn't be that. And yet we roll our eyes when we're flat sharing and someone does do something that slightly inconveniences another, not even really, like plays music a bit too loud. And I'm here to tell you all it's okay to play music just a little bit too loud within reasonable hours, okay? You belt out your show tunes or your heavy metal, it's okay. And if they judge you for it, that's their own problem. But be respectful. After 9 p.m., you're just pushing it, mate.
You just pushed it. Now, what would you be doing different about this room?
Okay, I'm going to do some reorganizing because this is a girl's room, so.
Yeah, what did I...
Well, first I would get everything out and just see what we're working with. So she's got a lot of figures. I'm assuming this is a girl because she has makeup brushes. And this is 1997, so
Oh, I forgot.
boys playing with makeup is not exactly fashionable yet, sadly.
Oh, shit, yeah.
Is it R to rotate?
Right click, which is just a double tap.
Did you hear
No.
that? Does the frog do it? How do I spin it?
So a right click is this.
That's fucking nuts. MacBooks are just dangerous. That's stupid. Oh my god, she has so many titties. Oh, a woman after my own heart. And she's got a little picture of a titty too. Ooh. A little radio. Lots of books. She's a reader like you. Ta-da! Okay, and then it flashes red, telling us it's in the wrong spot.
What's come through the window?
It's just a tree.
Ah, there's light coming through it. I didn't know that.
Oh, how gorgeous. Okay, your rubber can go there. A ruler can go in there. Let's get this trophy out of there and put it on display.
There's a lot of different ways of escapism.
Mm-hmm.
Gaming might be one,
Absolutely.
and it'd be the obvious one. We're playing a game. You know, people seek escapism, you and I, to avoid pain or discomfort that occurs as a normal part of life. It could be a survival tool to cope with trauma, situations, or memories. And even though it's often viewed as unhealthy, it can and often is a helpful or useful way of dealing with challenging problems, managing stress levels, and balancing your emotions safely and in moderation.
Mm-hmm.
Tess, you like to keep a tidy space.
Let's review. We touched on boundaries at home being an inconvenience and the need to seek escapism, which leads to some cool sharings like the meaning of escapism, a dive into why we do these creature comforts, a beautifully designed report on the potential of video games for well-being, and my top pick, this video game. It's a great time, no timers or scores, and perfect for recovery. So here's a question. Where are you your honest self? And let's return once again.
Tess, you like to keep a tidy space.
I do. That is a habit inherited from my mother, but it's one I appreciate. Although looking around the room, you wouldn't be able to tell that now. I don't know. It definitely is escapism in a way, because cleaning is very in your body. You don't need or have the time to really think about what's going on, but it is I'd say a pretty useful way of dealing with what's going on, if anything. Oh, can put it up there. And then at the end of it, if you still feel shit, oh my good lord, that's loud. If you still feel shit, at least you've got a clean space.
If you have a great day, you get to come home to a made bed. And if you have an awful day, you still get to come home to a made bed.
And it's just a pretty little thing to look at. And I think there is importance in taking care of the space that you spend most of your time in. Okay. Ta-da! Baby's first bedroom.
Oh, it's gorgeous with the photo as well.
Cute.
Can I point out
Yes.
a couple of my favorite things about that arrangement?
Yes.
Firstly, which is it's a Tessism, I call it, is the line of teddies staring out.
Oh, naturally.
Great feng shui, staring into the
abyss,
but towards the windows and doors.
Mm-hmm. Well, they would need a good view too.
And some reason I can't explain, I absolutely love the trophy on the windowsill.
Because the lights come
in the
through.
lights. Can I point out one thing that doesn't sit with me?
What?
I can't picture a soccer ball sitting in that bottom right section without constantly rolling
for sure
around. I just don't. That's why I had it in the corner, because you kick it in a corner, it'll stay.
Yeah, it did accept it as, I should have put the bag there and the ball in the corner. Oh, it's all ruined. What's the fucking point?
2004.
That's a big jump.
7 years later.
Yeah. Oh, this is a university room.